Well, today I'm looking at a book that I've had since the 1970s and have kept with me since the 1970s through multiple house moves and what have you. And it's a book that really I don't need anymore. It's outdated because this is Batman with Robin the Boy Wonder from the 30s to the 70s. And I got this, it's the second edition, 1979. So I bought it in the 70s and I've had it ever since. And as I say, it's incredibly dated. Anything that is from such and such to such and such, once you pass such and such, it's out of date, isn't it? But it's Batman, so I'm not going to get rid of it. And I thought I would just show you what's inside in case you've never seen this before. Back then, in 79, to have a publication devoted to Batman comics was quite a thing, at least for me, because, 79, yeah, Forbidden Planet was out and up and running in London, but I don't think back then they had much in the way of offering up old comics to buy. So this was kind of like, eye-popping to actually be able to read early editions of Batman. And here it is, the first Batman comic, spring 1940. And then we have a montage of classic covers. And then we go into the very first Batman story. And I can remember reading this for the first time because I think there was a guide to comics that I had, and I think it was like the first page, just this first page. But this is the whole story, the very first appearance of the Batman. I think I might review this from this book at some point. But then we have his origin from a couple of years later. And you go, oh, this is fantastic, this is fantastic. Unfortunately, the downside of this book, it's great that you've got so many collected stories, but after a little while, everything goes into black and white, and it does not work for me. Batman in black and white doesn't work. I've said before, growing up in England in the 70s, DC Comics were colour, because you got them off the spinner rack and it's, an imported American version, but in full colour. But Marvel Comics to me were all black and white because the only way I was being exposed to them was through the Marvel UK reprints, which were always in black and white. So even now, comics from the 60s and 70s, if it's Marvel, it's black and white. If it's DC, it's colour. So this is all, it's interesting. And I guess it's also interesting from the point of view that if it's in black and white, you can look at the line work more. But I know Batman is colour for me. So it is great to have it all together. Death to Dr. Death. What a classic panel. And they say Batman doesn't kill. There's Robin's origin. I'll flick through it. I won't show them all, but yeah, it seems to be running chronologically. Some of the, this is a great one. Because it's great to read this, even though it's in black and white. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford. That goes for a lot of money. This is kind of galling. You may have seen me say that I'm trying to do the run of all the Batmans that have that logo. Well, this Silver Age version of the Riddler, that his first appearance one, is one of those issues, but they go for hundreds. So unless we get one of these facsimile versions, I won't be owning it. So there we go. Key appearances, the Red Hood with the startling revelations. Dun, dun, dun. It's the origin of the Joker. And you wouldn't have known that until the very last page. That must have been a shock. Origin of the Batcave, that's a very silly tale. I want to be able to review that, but I don't want to do it in black and white. I'll see if I can find that issue. Look, other great covers. And then we're in colour again for a World's Finest. Why can't it all be like this? Because yeah, we go into black and white again. I'm going to skip forward because this isn't the most exciting, but there are things of note to show you in here. There's Two-Face, the crime predictor. Two-Face again. The Bat Marine. I love it. This is my Batman, you know, the silliness, the high adventure, but really rather daft stories. Even Batman Indian Chief. They are charming. Ugh. The Bat Hound. He wears, do you know Batman has Ace the Bat Hound? The reason why he wears a mask is because he's got a marking on his forehead, and if Batman goes around with him, everyone will go, oh, that's Bruce Wayne's dog. Yeah, so he has a costume as well. Right. We're firmly in the 50s here, obviously. Yeah, here we go. Batman in the 1960s. But, you know, back in 79, to read these was quite a thing. This isn't a book I get out and read at all. It's just on my shelf, and as it has been for a very long time. You know, I mean, you can have books that are important to you and you never really want to read it, but you know you've got it, you know. Here we go, into the 70s now. And we get a brief return to colour as Dick moves out, and as does Bruce and Alfred. But back in black and white again. First Batgirl. Silver Age Batgirl, I say. There we go. This is when it is good, because you get to see Neil Adams's work in black and white. That is a classic story. Classic final panel. There. And I think I've covered this one already, haven't I? Remember, I have that one in colour. Right, near the end. Fact. Oh no, the Demon of Gothos Manor. Yeah, that's a real spooky one. Isn't this the one where it ends with Batman crying? Yes. Yes, it does. And there we are. That's it. It was £3.95 back then. So, yeah, it's a curiosity now, isn't it? It's an outdated book, and it is a curiosity. But I love it. I'll never get rid of it. It will be with me until I die. The most startling thing about it is from the 30s to the 70s, right? So it's marking 40 years of Batman publication, but it's 50 years since I bought this book.